Now back to our top story, a water bottling plant in Northern California expanding.
NewsN's Justin Matthews explains why some residents are afraid their wells will dry up when Crystal Geyser starts production.
Production at Crystal Geyser's bottling facility in Mount Shasta just months away. It comes during a time of historic drought in California, and residents in the area are concerned about their water supply when production officially begins.
We want to know what the aquifer can handle and not handle, and we want real-time studies. That's all we're asking for. We're not anti-business.
Raven Stevens is a liaison for the Gateway Neighborhood Association, a neighborhood where many residents are outside of the city limits using water from their own wells. She says some residents have taken matters into their own hands to protect their water supply.
We have 25 homeowners that are allowing groundwater testing of their wells in the surrounding area, so that we have baseline numbers that are in place prior to operation.
Stevens says those tests have been going on for about a year and a half now, but it's not just residents keeping their eyes peeled. An organization called Water, which advocates thorough environmental review, has been working for several years to find out how the plant will impact the environment.
And we think that the effects of the drought have not been factored into Crystal Geyser's operations.
Hillman says it's not just the environment that will be affected. He fears the business and its growth will harm the community's culture.
There's industrial waste output, their traffic, noise, and plastic productions will have on not only the Mount Shasta area, but around the country and around the world.
Residents fear the size of Crystal Geyser's environmental footprint once production starts. Katie Jessup has lived in Mount Shasta for 2 decades. She says new businesses coming into town is important, but doesn't want one to hinder what makes the community special.
I came to Mount Shasta because of its alpine mountain kind of ambiance, and I feel like that's the biggest attraction, and I want to make sure that that we keep that in the forefront of our mind.
Covering your news in Mount Shasta, Justin Matthews, News 10.
Crystal Geyser is expected to begin bottling production between the end of August and early September. Gateway Neighborhood Association and the Water Group are hoping Siskiyou County will conduct an environmental impact review, or EIR, before the end of summer. Despite the plant being outside city limits, Mount Shasta city leaders say Crystal Geyser will have many benefits to its community. Company plans to open up with about 25 to 35 jobs, most of which are expected to be transfers from other plants. But the company expects to have 70 jobs within the next few years.
Well, those people who move here still buy homes, still put their kids in our schools, still spend their money in the town, and their economic impact still very positively affects the town as a whole.
City leaders say they do understand the residents' concerns about the company's environmental impact. Some of the water Crystal Geyser uses will be from the Sacramento River headwaters in Mount Shasta City Park. Out of the 13 million gallons of water which flows through it, company plans to only use about 2%.
Just today, California's governor ordered mandatory water restrictions for the first time in history. Brown wants the water board to implement reductions in cities and towns to cut usage by 25%. This could impact residents, businesses, farmers, and other users.